The A's have caused all sorts of problems for the Houston Astros in their chase for the American League pennant. The Athletics have taken 6 of the past 7 meetings, and the A's are playing some good baseball in September, spoiling the fun for other teams. Tonight, it's a familiar face to the hill as Scott Kazmir makes the start versus his former team. He will be opposed by A's ace, Sonny Gray. It's a matchup on the mound. Kazmir and the Astros taking on Sonny and the A's, and it starts right now. Well, after a very exciting win for the A's last night, tonight the Athletics will try to make it 2 in a row over the reeling Houston Astros, and they will face an old teammate in Scott Kazmir, who takes the hill, and he will be opposed by the A's ace, Sonny Gray. So we got a terrific pitching matchup for Game 2 of this 3-game series. It's the A's and the Astros coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody, and welcome once again to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. It was July 23rd when the A's traded Scott Kazmir to the Astros, and right tonight he'll make his 11th start with Houston. And you get a guy like Scott Kazmir, you've lost 5 in a row. These are the games where he needs to come up big. It's called being a stopper. You want your A's to be the stopper. They wanted to get Scott Kazmir because he's a very good pitcher with the Athletics. And for the Astros, maybe not as good. He did beat the Royals early as he was traded from the Athletics to Houston. But against the Athletics in the start that he made at the Coliseum, he made 2 bad pitches. Ended up a couple of home runs, especially the big one to Mark Canha, a 3-run shot. But he is their ace. He's the guy that they want to win because they need somebody to stop a losing streak. Sonny Gray looking for his 14th win. He has just 1 win in his last 6 starts, but Ray, that 1 win was against these Astros. 7 shutout innings at the Coliseum. Everything was working to perfection. It was against Scott Kazmir and the Astros, but it was the Coliseum, and for 7 innings he gave up nothing to the Astros. Good hard slider that he likes to throw with a couple of strikes, getting the strikeouts, but unfortunately in the next start against the Chicago White Sox, you watch everything and how it was elevated. The breaking balls were left up, a couple of big home runs hit, and ended up giving up 7 runs in 3+ innings. That is not Sonny Gray. So let's hope tonight on his normal turn. Remember that game he had an extra night or extra day's rest, and he did not pitch that well. He's in on his normal turn right now. That should help him, and the A's hope so tonight against the Astros. And those Astros have lost 5 in a row, and they sit 2.5 games back of the Texas Rangers in the West with 14 games left to play. Up next, we will check in with the A's pregame live studios, and then we'll come back to Houston for the ball game. So stick around. It's the A's and the Astros coming up on CSN California.
Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Beautiful night for baseball in Houston. The roof is closed as we get set for Game 2 of this series. A's Astros from Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. It's like a bigger crowd gathering tonight. It's an hour earlier start here on a Saturday night in Houston. So the Astros take the field. Let's check the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. It's 88 degrees outside with a nice light breeze, but beautiful inside and a very comfortable place to play a game, broadcast a game, watch a game.
It's nice when it's warm outside and the roof is closed. We hope Josh Fegley's okay. Good to see him on the bench.
Josh Fegley is why he is not in the lineup again tonight. Here is the A's lineup. The good news is that Billy Burns is back. He's in center field leading things off. Then Mark Canha, Brett Lawrie, Danny Valencia, Billy Butler, Marcus Semien, Jake Smolinski, Carson Blair, and Craig Gentry. That is the A's lineup against the left-hander.
Scott Kazmir started against the Athletics on the 8th of this month. They did not fare that well in the series in which the A's played very well against the Astros, and Kazmir gave up a couple of home runs in the game. The one, probably the strangest, was Billy Burns. And then, of course, the 3-run home run to Mark Canha. But, Cap, I think you said it best. The Astros need a stopper, and Scott Kazmir is trying to be the stopper. And when you have someone like him in a rotation, you expect him to come up big, especially in a game like tonight.
Defensively, behind Scott Kazmir, Preston Tucker is in left field. Colby Rasmussen center, George Springer in right. Jed Lowry, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, and Luis Valbuena on the infield. Jason Castro again behind the plate. So A.J. Hinch and his Astros have lost 5 in a row, and they trail the Texas Rangers by 2.5 games in the West. And the Rangers will get started 1 hour from now against the Mariners at home. First pitch of the game under the glove of Lowry. The throw to first, not in time. And Billy Burns, one pitch into the game, is on first base. Lowry was playing in, it just went right under his glove, and it rolled toward Correa, the shortstop.
And Lowry was playing even with the bag, expecting you'd have to know he's going to be swinging first pitch, which he did, and Lowry was there, and I think it's going to be caught, not, and then foot race is on. Popeye's looking to see where Rasmus was playing. Remember the ball he had in Oakland, a home run. If he had done that tonight, he might have had an inside the park home run, but instead leads off as he is moving quite well with a hamstring injury that kept him out about a week.
So Burns is aboard on the air. And here's Mark Canha. He takes a bit outside.
Canha hit the cut fastball that ran in on him. Hit it down the left field line in Oakland.
Defense has been good for the Astros this year. Second fewest errors in the American League. An error to start the ball game. So Kazmir is going to go for a walk. 3 pitches into the game.
He wanted to get his thoughts together.
Yes.
Maybe he didn't get them together in the bullpen.
Generally that happens in the bullpen.
That's right.
2-0 now to Canha. Umpires for the game. Mike Winters is the crew chief, and he is calling balls and strikes. Malinsky at first, Foster at second, Baxter at third. Jose Altuve playing right near second base. First time.
Thinking last night, Cat, the way the Astros played, and after the A's came to within 1 with the back-to-back home runs and of course the 2-run home run. But one of the things that from the Astros standpoint, and while they may be struggling with a poor record in September, this could be a beneficial time for them, because even postseason, every game is going to be like what they're playing now.
Yep.
And we saw it last night, and of course they had some tough games on the road, but maybe this is kind of uncharted territory for a lot of the players. But this is what postseason baseball is all about. Every pitch, every play is critical. The A's don't feel that because they're out of it, and that's a different type of play. But when you get postseason, you're playing teams that you're trying to advance, and means those teams are very good also.
So that means you're a believer in it could be a little bit of an advantage if a team plays meaningful games right up until the end of the regular season.
I believe it. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, I think it keeps them. And after all, you're scheduled and primed to play 162 games, and you're hoping for October baseball. But also realize that when you play in October, that's adrenaline. That's like a whole new season. It's like you play 162, spring training, 162, and then you go, all right, we're there. And it's like, okay, let's kick it another gear. And that's what guys do in October.
And thus, the dilemma. It's nice to win your division by 10 games, but
and that's
I think there's something about playing right up until the end and must-win games.
And how many times do we see also that teams, well, the A's, for example, in 2006, swept the Twins, had a little bit of time, but then played the Tigers and lost. And then the Tigers had all kinds of time before the World Series, and they almost forgot how to play. So,
Astros 4-12 in the month of September. Starters ERA is up. Bullpen ERA is way up. So offensively, not bad in September, but the pitching has not been the same. And Hanna strikes out. So that's the concern for the Astros right now, is to kind of get their pitching and their bullpen aligned.
Well, after hitting the cut fastball in Oakland, this time Scott Kazmir stays away from Mark Canha. Remember last night, 0-2 count to Pat Neshek went to right field before Valencia's home run. This time Kazmir stayed outside, and when we saw him, while he does not throw 98 anymore, he still got a good fastball, but he can vary his speed on his fastball and fool a lot of hitters.
Here's Laurie. 273 for Laurie with 16 homers, 58 RBIs. He was 1 for 4 last night. Astros are currently the second wild card team, but just barely. We'll give you what's going on in Minnesota today with that doubleheader between the Angels and the Twins. Game 1 just went final. This one's popped up right side of the diamond. Valbuena into foul territory. He's got it. So 2 away. So there's the West. Astros 2.5 back. Angels now just 4 back. And that's updated wild card standings. Updated with the Angels 4-3 win over the Twins in game 1 of that doubleheader. So the Twins and the Angels now just a game and a half back of the Astros for the second wild card.
How long did that first game go? Did they play
12 innings, yeah. Well, the Angels won it 4-3 in 12 innings. So a big road win, and they will relax for a little bit, and they will play game 2 of that doubleheader in just a little bit. So that is a very, very important day of baseball in Minneapolis for those wild card standings. So a big win for the Angels, and keep an eye on game 2 when it gets underway. Oh, 0-1 the count to the hero from last night, Danny Valencia. Valencia with a 2-homer game. Second time in his career that he hit 2 home runs in a game. I go back to 2010. This is his rookie season with the Twins.
Danny Valencia did it against Mike Fiers. That was back-to-back, and a crushed fastball after he thought he had walked on the 3-1, and then a hanging slider. Pat Neshek into the Crawford boxes, a 2-run shot that would give the A's a 1-run lead, and they won a 1-run game.
Bounced into right field, a base hit. Burns to second, he'll stop there. There was nobody over there. So Valencia has a base hit. Valencia has been tough on the Astros this year, and he's been tough on the Astros in his whole career. .415 career average against Houston with 6 home runs and 13 RBIs, and look what he's done this year. 4 homers, 11 RBIs. He is now 15 for 32. So he likes the Astros. He likes hitting in this ballpark.
And I don't know that the shift that the Astros had employed with him up, if Kazmir had intended to throw the fastball outside, maybe try to get it inside, left it out there.
But it's such, I mean, the hole on the right side, it's the entire right side of the infield.
Exactly. And you're right, especially if the first baseman is holding a base runner, then there's nobody within 90 feet.
There.
Yeah.
And Valencia, if you're a hitter and you recognize the pitch is outside, I mean, it's really, I don't want to say nothing to it because that.
But look at the location
takes away from the hitter, but it's a fastball out that's where he's going to hit it.
And Castro actually watching that replay, he had set up outside, which is really a perfect pitch, and Kazmir left it up, perhaps a little bit too high, but give Valencia credit going that direction.
1-1 to Billy Butler, 254 with 13 home runs and 62 RBIs. 2 on, 2 out here in the first for the A's. Scott Kazmir, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs opposition, is hitting 125. It was the same way with him last year.
Exactly.
He had terrific numbers in these spots with the Athletics in 2014. So 3-1 now to Butler. For all for Kazmir, 29th start on the year, 11th start with Houston. He's 7-10 with a good ERA of 2.63. That's 4th best in the American League. And there's a strike.
Well, that's a strike, but you know, of all the pitches and the strikes that Kazmir's thrown this inning, look at the height. That's dangerous for a pitcher to pitch up in the zone the way Kazmir is tonight. And, you know, ideally, and we'll see as this game progresses, if he starts getting the ball down in the strike zone. Typically, hitters get a fastball that's up. Sometimes they're able to get on top and drive it a lot better than a low fastball.
Runners take off, and it's rolled foul. Billy Butler last night was 1 for 4.
Playing him shallow in the outfield as well, and we have seen him drive the ball to right center. If he does that here, it's going to score 2.
A little bit inside, and the bases are loaded.
Well, it is a fastball in, went right after him, trying to pitch him inside instead of being able to extend his arms, and ball just kept running. Castro tried to bring him back in the strike zone, unsuccessful. For Mike Winters on plate umpire.
So here's Marcus Semien. First pitch, check swing, foul ball. Semien was 1 for 4 last night. Struck out a couple of times. Hitting in the 6th spot today. Way outside, and Kazmir missed badly. 23 pitches here in the first inning for Scott Kazmir.
And one bad pitch away from being behind 2-0. Marcus Semien really has to think opposite field as well. He is at his best when he stays back and goes to right field.
So now it's 1-2 on the foul ball.
The steel bars, no dents, but Mike Winters took one pretty crisply off the side of the mask, flipped it a little bit, but not a direct hit.
Burns at third, Valencia at second, Butler at first. Pitch is popped up, should reach the seats, and it will. Now Castro's going to chat with Kazmir. Kazmir has just one win in his last 8 starts. Back in the 22nd of August. Beat the Dodgers 3-1. It's outside, 2-2 to count. Not a huge amount of run support for Kazmir. And that shows up with the good ERA, but the 7-10 record. And a foul tip pops in on the glove of Castro. He had it.
All it takes for the foul tip is to hit a side of the catcher's mitt, and watch with Castro, see where it hit him, and the hard part where his thumb is. And he was set up to catch it in the pocket, just changed direction enough that it hit him on the hard part of the catcher's mitt and out of the pocket. And that's the difference. That's why it's so hard to catch foul tips. They're lucky. You are lucky as a catcher if the ball goes into your mitt.
Popped up again and again into the seats. So the A's put all kinds of pressure on Kazmir here in the first inning. Pitch broken bat right back to Kazmir. He steps and throws to first. Side retired. So 29 pitches in the inning for Kazmir. And the A's do not score. They leave him loaded. So Sonny Gray set to go to work. No score after half an inning. Houston Astros. Altuve, Springer, Correa, Lowry, Rasmus, Gaddis, Valbuena, Tucker, and Castro.
Sonny Gray starting for the Athletics, and as we have detailed, it's been a tough road for Sonny Gray, but still has the second, or at least tied for the second best ERA in the American League with a 2.56. That was increased in his last start, 7 runs and 3+ innings against the White Sox on Monday. So back on his normal turn, 5th day, which that in itself should help Sonny Gray as he seems to pitch under these conditions, these circumstances, on his 5th day versus the extra rest.
His defense has Smolinski in left, Burns in center, Gentry in right, Valencia at third, Simeon at short, Laurie at second, Canna at first, and Carson Blair is your catcher. So the A's looking for their 3rd consecutive win. And really late inning heroics in each of the last 2 games. Help the A's get W's. Thursday in Chicago and Friday right here in Houston. Gray's first pitch is rolled foul. Altuve at .311 with 12 home runs and 59 RBIs. He had a hit last night, 1 for 3.
And good to know that he's okay after sliding in to the home plate umpire. Sack fly.
Line drive toward left center field, and it's over the head of Smolinski and up against the wall. And Altuve with the leadoff double. Double number 32 for the Astros All-Star second baseman.
Well, that ball looked like it's going to be caught, even though it was hit very well on a high fastball. And I think Altuve thought it's going to be caught because he was not running particularly hard to first base. But then as Smolinski went after it, it just took off on him as he reached up. Could not make the play. But again, it looked like it was something, or at least a play that Smolinski could make. And maybe the angle started out kind of side and then took the angle back towards the baseball and just kept traveling on it. Maybe the wind. No, wind could. Wind don't.
I don't think so. The wind did much to that ball. Never know.
Air conditioner.
So 0-1 to count to George Springer. Springer at .259 with 13 home runs. Happy birthday to George Springer. He's 26 years old. Talking about those ERA leaders, David Price leads the American League in ERA with 2.42. Then Keuchel and Gray at 2.56. Kazmir at 2.63.
What's Greinke's doing? I mean, that's
Greinke, what's he at? Like 0.00?
When he and Kershaw, you go back to back against them. The way they're pitching, you score 1 run in 2 games, you're lucky.
Inside. Greinke's 1.65. So that's the group right there. I think David Price may now be the front runner for the Cy Young. Price is 16-5. Keuchel is 17-8. They're 1-2 in innings pitched. Price is 4th in strikeouts. Keuchel's 5th. So it's pretty close. Unfortunately, I think Sonny's probably fell below those 2 guys in the race for the Cy Young.
Well, 2 weeks from tomorrow, votes will be in. And we mentioned it does not count postseason. And I think that's accurate because that way you don't have to be concerned about what a pitcher might do. I guess if that's the case, Bumgarner would have won everything a couple of times.
2-2 to Springer with Correa waiting in the on-deck circle. In the dirt. Past Blair, and Altuve goes to third.
Well, Carson Blair has his work cut out for him tonight, and this is why. This slider, this is a 2-strike slider, and he will be getting it in the dirt. Sonny Gray's numbers for wild pitches continue to rise, but that's a pitch that's very hard to block. There it is, a 12th. And that's the hard slider, and just have to hope that he continues to throw it, although with a runner at third base and a body like that, he might not throw it as much.
2 foul to the screen. Josh Phegley, we found out today, the reason he's not playing, he's got a concussion.
Yes, he does.
Which is unfortunate. During batting practice yesterday, he was hit in the head with a bat. Obviously by accident.
As he was standing around the cage, not actually in, but yeah, accidentally hit in the back of the head. And
so that is why Phegley did not play.
whoa! What happened there?
How did that baseball get in here?
Look at it, Adam. Well, I don't know. We were just talking, and all of a sudden, here comes a baseball. Adam lost his headset, going after a baseball. Adam, I'll get you one. Don't worry. We'll find you one.
Our stat man, Adam, went after that baseball.
Like he's a fan.
You all right? He dove onto the floor. I want you to have it, Adam. After the effort he just put in. His headset came off.
It was laying on the floor.
We looked at Adam was down on the floor.
Adam, who could pick it up when the inning's over. It's like Cleveland Stadium many years ago.
That was a terrific effort. The pitch is up and in, and Springer walks.
I was shocked it came in here.
Adams' play or Sam Folds' play last night.
Oh, yeah.
It was close. This is what happened last night with Jose Altuve. Kind of a strange situation, right? You just don't see it very often.
No, and Reddick's throw just a little bit to the first base side, and Altuve slid in with the Tony Bassner, the home plate umpire, making the call, and he was there and got crushed. And could not reach back quick enough. I was thinking about that and trying to remember. I want to say it was Cliff. Let's see. In Milwaukee, he's played with the Yankees. And Lou DeMuro and he ran right through him. I mean, it wasn't a slide. He just kept running, went through the bag.
Cliff Johnson,
thank you. And I went through the plate like that, and Lou was there to make the call and just crushed him. But I mean, it was unintentional, just like that was last night. Just Bassner was ready to make the call, safe or out, and here comes the runner.
1-0 to Carlos Correa. 2-0 to Carlos Correa. So a double, wild pitch and a walk, and both pitchers in trouble here in the first inning. Kasner got out of the jam. Sonny Gray in a jam.
Young looking on and would like to get some innings out of his ace of the staff and Sonny Gray.
Lowry to follow after Lowry, Rasmus. Down the line, hit pretty well, but just foul. So the count 2-1.
Well, that's the power of the young man going opposite field. Fastball from Sonny Gray and just sliced too much from his standpoint.
Correa 18 home runs and 52 runs batted in. He was 0 for 4 last night. Sanford made that great play. Springer runs and he'll have a stolen base. No throw. So Springer gets his 15th steal of the year. The Astros lead the American League in steals. That was number 109.
Well, the high leg kick, this is a straight steal all the way, especially on a 2-1 count, and taking the pitch all the way was Correa out of the strike zone. So Springer aggressively getting to second base. Astros playing similar baseball as they did last night when they took an early 3-0 lead.
Right field, into the corner goes Gentry. Gentry has it in fair territory. Both runners are going to move up, and it'll be a sacrifice fly, and the Astros have a 1-0 lead. Correa gets his 53rd RBI of the year.
Well, you have to wonder if this is intentional, especially with Correa not trying to overswing and pull the ball that was headed to the outside part of the plate. Gentry very wisely picked the ball up and threw to third base, knowing that Altuve was going to score easily.
So here's Lowry. Infield comes in. Runner at third, one away. First pitch is a strike on the inside corner. Lowry at 236 with 9 home runs and 29 runs batted in. He had a couple of RBIs last night. RBI single and a sacrifice fly.
'29 start at the 30th start for Sonny Gray, and in the previous 29, Stephen Vogt caught 18, Josh Phegley 11, Carson Blair is first. And I say that because when a pitcher is accustomed throwing to a catcher, it makes a difference. But also for Carson Blair catching Sonny Gray, and with the movement on his pitches, you just saw that last one almost take off on him. That makes it difficult. He's expecting one pitch, and all of a sudden he's doing something different than what you're expecting him to do. And
he has that unpredictable fastball.
He does, and the two guys that caught him, Stephen Vogt has caught him, or did catch him 18 times. And we'll see if he catches it any more this season. Possibly not, but he would talk, as Phegley would talk about, pitch would take off, and all of a sudden you're expecting a four-seam, and it's like a two-seam, taking off, cutting, sinking. And that makes it difficult, and especially if you're trying to throw out base runners.
Drive to left center and hit well. Smolinski racing back. That's over his head. It's going to be an RBI double as Springer trots in to score. 2-0 Astros.
Well, we've talked about, we saw Jed Lowry for a couple of years and designated him as a doubles machine, and he does it again. This one over the head and to left center. He was injured, came back, been playing third base, but I asked him how's he feeling? He said, okay. It's one of those, and he said, I can play. And that's what you do if you're trying to win. And not that if you're not winning, do you sit out? But Jed Lowry's not 100%. And if you have an injury and you have the offseason to get healthy, that's one thing. But if you have an injury and come back, try to play through it. That's what makes it difficult.
Here's Colby Rasmus. .233 for Rasmus with 19 home runs. He was 0 for 3 last night. With a movement early. You just don't ever think that's going to happen with Sonny Gray, but he's already thrown 21 pitches. And now it's 1-2. So the career numbers on the right for the month of September, and then what he's done this year, ERA of 7.80 in 3 September starts. And he has just 1 win in his last 6 starts. It was against these Astros.
7 runs in 3+ innings does not help your ERA.
Trying for third. And it's going to roll into left field. There's a collision at third base. And coming in to score is Lowry. Lowry and Semien collided as with the shift on Semien, the only infielder on that side of the diamond. So it's going to be an error, and it's going to be 3-0 Astros.
Well, a wild pitch to go to third, and the overthrow to allow him to score. And you're right with a shift, and not surprised that the ball not far away from Carson Blair, that Lowry would take the chance and go, and ran into Semien as the throw to Semien put him in the middle of the baseline and pushed him out of the way and headed home.
So 2-2 is the count, and it's low 3-2. You know, that's a little bit like the play you talked about, Ray, where a guy tries to steal Then there's a shift on, and the third baseman or whoever is the infielder on that side has to get over there. Catcher's throwing the moving target. I think if the infielder on that play is there, he catches the ball.
Probably, yeah.
But he's still moving a little bit, trying to slow down, look at the runner, catch the ball. It's not an easy play.
And where he was playing, like now, or even even a little bit closer to shortstop, but look how far he has to run. And you're right. See him as he's getting there, the throw.
He's just not set.
No, and at least he knocks the ball down. If he's there, he just had to reach for it. That's all he could do.
Rasmus walks, and the inning continues. The second walk by Sonny Gray, and just watching Sonny his last two starts, and obviously the results have not been very good, but just the eye test, the stuff is just not sharp.
You're right.
Breaking ball is rolling. Fastball command is a little all over the place.
And we had to show the 12th raw pitch. Now he has 13, because when that hard slider is biting like it's supposed to, as a catcher, you got your work cut out. You have to really work on blocking ball and making sure. And that's not an easy pitch to block, the hard slider that's really biting like that. So Carson Blair showed up today and probably was not thinking about catching until he got here and found out the results of Josh Phegley. Maybe he knew last night, but knew also this was a chore tonight, catching Sonny Gray.
Gaddis, and the pitch to Gaddis' high. Still only one out in this inning.
And you just do not want a pitcher to overcompensate with pitches down low, start elevating them, because you don't want the wild pitches, and then all of a sudden the ball is jumping off the bat. The ball that Lowry hit to left center was a high fastball that he crushed to left center.
And now it's 2-0. Careful here with big Evan Gaddis. Missed again, 3-0. So 28 pitches for Sonny Gray here in the first inning. $16 balls and 12 strikes, and the 3-0 pitch is low. And that is the third walk in the inning for Gray. Sonny generally does a pretty good job with his pitch count. 14.5 pitches per inning on average. That's fourth fewest in the American League.
Well, how about
you really you don't see him have these kind of innings hardly ever.
No.
He's into the 25, 27, 30 pitch in an inning spot.
Yeah, not averaging 14 plus, and then you're doubling that in the first inning.
Valbuena who goes around. So Rasmus at second, Gaddis at first.
What you're looking at tonight, this great pitching matchup, the expectations of this matchup, and you have two former teammates, two good friends going head and head. One's throwing 29 to get out of the top to first. This is the 31st coming up with Sonny Gray.
And it's 0-2 to Luis Valbuena with 22 home runs and 50 RBIs. Kazmir will take it.
Well, he's already way ahead of the start he had in Oakland against the A's, where Sonny and the A's shut out the Astros 4-0.
The only out in this inning was Gray's sacrifice fly. going on. Lions going into the seats. On deck is Preston Tucker, another left-handed hitter. One-two pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Blair.
There's a hard slider with a couple of strikes, trying to get the strike out, and came up, hit him in the midsection. Notice this time, unlike the Sunday in Texas, got rid of his mask, get it out, throw it away, pick up the baseball.
Tapped foul. So 35 pitches now in the first inning for Sonny Gray.
Well, he only threw 75 in his last start. That was the 3+ innings in Chicago. So he, I guess you could say, has a few in the tank, but not exactly what he had expected. He had 10 wins and 3 losses at the All-Star break. Starting play tonight, 13-7.
Take by Valbuena, so full count.
Sonny Gray's a strikeout pitcher, so you'd have to think that Kurt Young's going to get somebody loose in the bullpen, but you'd have to think the Astros might not be running here. Simeon very close to Rasmus at second.
Not going, and it's tapped foul back to the screen. So Otero's up.
I wonder how few times that Kurt Young's ever had to say to the bullpen, "You're the long man tonight," with Sonny Gray pitching.
Or called on to the bullpen in the
first inning, yeah.
Foul ball. This went into the upper deck and bounces all the way down to the lower deck. Runners have not been moving on the last 2 3-2 pitches. And they're not running here. And the ball's hit high in the air to right field. Gentry squares up, now comes in a couple steps, and he's got it. Both runners tag, and Gaddis is going to be out by a whole bunch. And that's how the inning ends. Boy, did Sonny Gray need that. Don't know what Gaddis was doing, but he's thrown out by a lot. Astros get 3. It's 3-0 Houston after 1. Sports Nutrition, now with 25 Bay Area locations. Come visit our newest stores in Pleasanton and Gilroy. So kind of a crazy first inning, even the way it ended. Of course, the way it ended would be a surprise.
The way it ending is a blessing, like you said, for the green and gold. And that gentleman's smiling only because of the double play. That ended the inning, a rare double play.
But the look on A.J. Hinch's face kind of said it all. I could see Rasmus tagging up, which he did going second to third. But Gaddis just went back to tag up like he was going to make it easily. And he got thrown out easily.
I don't know if he thought the throw was going to go to third base, but the only throw that Gentry had after coming in to make the catch was just courtesy throw to second base. And here comes Gaddis lumbering in, and there's the tag. And Jay Hinch was like, what are you doing? Even Gaddis probably wondering what he was doing himself.
Check this look in.
Well, you got first and third and 2 outs versus the double play.
That's going to be gone. Smolinski rattles one up in the Crawford boxes. It got out in a hurry, and it's 3-1. A shot into the seats quickly.
Swung on, gone. That's how quickly it left, and hit off well above the boxes. You can hear the thumping sound. With this fastball 3-1, you fall behind. This can usually happen. Kazmir knew it. Let's see if you can hear it after it lands. That was it.
Sounded like the fireworks from last night after the game.
Yeah. Might need Blue Cross Blue Shield after that shot.
0-1 to Carson Blair. Smolinski, his 6th home run of the year. For Kazmir, it's the 16th home run he has allowed this year in 172 innings. Blair rolls it foul. So 0-2 to Carson Blair. He's off the pitch. We think that's the Carson Blair group. And check out their shirts. So CSN sent him some awesome t-shirts to wear.
Well, you got to watch him play last night. They're watching tonight and tomorrow.
And unfortunately, he went around that time. So Carson Blair strikes out.
Argyle, Texas, and of course he grew up watching the Rangers, and I'm sure it was very easy for them to drive here. As the check swing, he went. Argyle, Texas.
So 1 away, and here's Craig Gentry. Gentry takes a little bit outside.
The amazing thing about Carson Blair, had everything stayed status quo. If Stephen Vogt doesn't get hit the way he did a couple weeks ago, and Josh Phegley, he might not have caught very much in the last month of the season.
No, he would have just been
as a third catcher. Yeah, and he was brought up as a third catcher, and now he is catching every day, waiting. Stephen Vogt probably is not going to catch again this season. I'd be shocked if he did. May play some first or DH, but no reason for him to do anything drastic like get behind the plate again. He's taking a beating as it is, and that last one was the ultimate beating. And Phegley, we don't know how long that's going to be with concussion symptoms. He has to be evaluated before he's allowed to come back and play.
Well, Stephen Vogt really wants to catch.
Yeah. He wants to let him warm up in the bullpen. No, he wants to, and because he knows this season is a lot better for him because of last year he couldn't because of his foot problem. This year he's come back. He's done a great job catching, playing first, all-star. Good season for him. But I wouldn't push it, considering where he got hit.
2-2 to Gentry. Burns in the on-deck circle. And now 3-2.
Bob Melvin said about guys like Smolenski getting a chance to play and so what they can do under these conditions.
Yellow center. Rasmus has it. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning, and Burns will hit. Burns reached on an error in the first.
Cap, one of the things about Scott Kazmir, and if you're trying to end a 5-game losing streak, trying to get the guy to step up and take the ball and win, you get 3 runs in the first inning, kind of gift runs, because you know your opposite number is a pretty good pitcher and doesn't give up a lot. And then you throw 3 consecutive out of the strike zone. The leadoff hitter in the second inning have to come in on a 3-1, and all of a sudden it's a 3-1 game with a fastball that left quickly.
Burns got to third in the first inning, but that's where he was stranded. Burns got in the game last night as a pinch hitter, and then he stayed in the game. He ended up getting 2 at-bats.
And it's the Coliseum. This is an 0-2 pitch that Burns hits, and it's like, okay, I can hit home runs from the right side. And the Comcast Sportsnet California side, Scott Kazmir. That was the solo, and then the 3-run was the big one.
Burns looking for a fastball that time, and he did not get what he was looking for. Burns still leading the American League. Rookies and hits, and he gets hit, so he'll take first base. That right there tells you that Scott Kazmir's a little off.
Castro wanted the fastball in after the changeup away, but Burns turned, got him on the left arm, left shoulder.
So Burns aboard, and here's Marcana. So 44 pitches in the game for Scott Kazmir. That one's belted to center. Rasmus going back, still going back, at the wall, and he caught it. Canna hit it a ton to deep right center. Nice play by Rasmus. The A's do get the home run by Jake Smolenski, his 6th of the year. So bottom of the second coming up. 3-1 Astros. Evergood Sausage Company. Get grillin'. Astros 3, A's 1, bottom of the second inning. Home run by Jake Smolinski for the A's run. Sonny Gray needs a quick inning. He had anything but a quick inning. 44 pitches in the first. So he'll face Tucker, Castro, and Altuve in the second. That's 2-0. Preston Tucker, one of those guys who does not wear batting gloves.
So when you shake his hand, you're going to get on a pine tar.
And he's good for pace of play. Because, as we've seen with most hitters, the batting gloves need to be tightened up after every single pitch, which is still a head scratcher to me.
Well, I guess, and Jeff Luhnow, the general manager, mentioned last night about this young man who's a very good player, but he also has his brother who was the AA Player of the Year.
Yeah, how about that?
And they expect the two of them to be playing in the same outfield not too distant future.
Yeah, he was a top 10 pick for the Astros this year.
We mentioned last night, with the exception of a couple players, the pitcher Scott Kazmir and Rasmus, the only two possible free agents, and the rest of the club is pretty much intact.
Hey, we know that guy. Craig Biggio.
Entire career at the Houston Astros.
That one bounced to the second baseman, Laurie, who throws to first, one away. And that'll bring up Jason Castro. Castro had 219 with 11 homers, 30 RBIs. He was 0 for 3 last night. He's back from the disabled. He's had a quad strain. Speaking of injuries, Carlos Gomez out of the lineup again. In the newspapers this morning, the update on Carlos Gomez. He's not really even taking batting practice. He's doing some things on the field, but batting practice, not one of them. Which kind of makes you think he may be out for a little while.
You know, if you have an intercostal strain and you swing as hard as he does,
well,
it's not surprised that that's the injury.
But I was surprised to read that he's not even doing any hitting. So the Astros disappointed. I mean, that's one of their best players. He has struggled some with the Astros, statistically anyway. So no timetable when he will be back. 4-pitch walk to Castro. That's 4 walks by Sonny Gray. So that'll bring up Jose Altuve, top of the order. So Sonny Gray's road ERA is 2.31. That's the 4th best in the major leagues. But tonight here in Houston, he has really struggled. Altuve on the backhand as Canha fires to second for one, back to first. Double play. Nicely done by Mark Canha. It's a 3-6-3 double play. So we are through 2 here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. It's the Astros 3 and the A's 1. a Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the third, it's the Astros 3 and the A's 1. Laurie's going to lead it off, followed by Valencia and Butler here in the third.
How about Sonny Gray, back-to-back innings, ending on a double play.
That's right.
One out of the ordinary. 9-6 put out at second base, but then a very nice play turned by Varcana, started by him, 3-6-3 double play. And the A's feel they're right back in it. 1 run on the board, down by 2. Just the third inning.
Mariners and the Rangers just getting underway. In Arlington, Nuno for Seattle and Cole Hamels for Texas. Drive to right. Springer back. Stops. Makes the catch. So 1 out here in the third. That'll bring up Danny Valencia. And that gets us to our Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Most RBIs in first 33 games with the A's. Danny Valencia with 31 RBIs in 33 games. Jermaine Dye drove in 34 in his first 33 games when he came over in that trade in 2001. That's right. He started driving in runs as soon as he got off the plane. Landing in Oakland. Jermaine Dye.
Signed a multi-year contract with a broken leg. He found the ball off his leg in postseason. Good player, Jermaine. Of course, went on the White Sox and was part of the team in 05 that defeated these Astros in the World Series. That's overthrown effect.
Yes. He's done that a couple times tonight. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a hit batter for Kazmir. And like Sonny Gray, a lot of pitches. 50 already. The 2 players the A's received for Scott Kazmir in the trade was right-handed pitcher Daniel Megden and catcher Jacob Nottingham. So we hope sometime in the next year or 2 we start hearing their names. Maybe you and I start saying their names.
Yeah.
But that was the deal. Catcher and a right-handed pitcher. Kazmir was an all-star last year.
Well, for a rent-a-player, basically a 2-month, maybe postseason. What the Astros are hoping, sometimes you decide what you're going to give up. The Astros, because of where they have finished in the standings in recent years, they've been able to draft some quality players who are right now playing in the big leagues, but their minor league system pretty strong as well. And they probably could afford to give up some key players.
Well, Kazmir was terrific in the month of July. In fact, he was the American League Pitcher of the Month in July. A 0.26 ERA in that month.
And Clayton Kershaw had to do what he did, otherwise you're looking at 100 years ago.
July 23rd when the deal was made. So he made a couple of those July starts with these Astros. In fact, he won them both, won his first 2. On the ground is short. Out at second, and that's a double play. 6-4-3 twin killing. And we're headed to the bottom of the third. It'll be Springer, Correa, and Lowry. Astros leading the A's 3-1. Domino's.com introducing the marbled cookie brownie. Got your computer?
Do we have anything?
Domino's.com. I buy, you fly.
Is there one in Houston?
You could get a pizza and then finish it off with that marbled brownie.
Right there.
Something to think about.
If Adam could find that like he found that baseball, maybe he could do it by himself.
It was impressive. Springer, Correa, and Lowry here in the bottom of the third. Angels and the Twins are underway in game 2 of their doubleheader. No score after 3 innings in Minnesota, so a long day of baseball at Target Field, with the Angels winning game 1 4-3 in 12 innings. Doubleheader due to the rain out yesterday. Angels also won on Thursday night in game 1 of that series. Springer, big swing and a miss, 2-2.
Listen, today the Angels playing that game have 12 position players on the bench. 12. And normally when you have 12 to 13 pitchers, you might have 3 to 4. And
got to change.
I mean, he's got a big plane, a lot of hotel rooms, and a big bench. Strong bench.
Well, in that first game of that doubleheader, and granted it was 12 innings, but 14 pitchers were used.
And it started out with Heaney. The Angels had a no-hitter through 5.
Yeah, and he ended up pitching 6 innings. Swing and a miss, and a pitch outer part of the plate, and that's the first strikeout for Sonny Gray.
That's a swing we saw from Springer when we first saw him with the Astros. Instead of taking that pitch like Correa did in his first at bat, driving to right field. Watch him open up on this pitch outside. He's got no chance to reach it. And it was just a good pitch, a pitch thrown by Sonny Gray. But from the hitter standpoint, 3-2, you look fastball. Why are you trying to pull? And you know a pretty good chance the fastball is going to be the outer part of the plate.
There's Carlos Correa, who had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. All those numbers for Correa, and this is his 86th game played this year. Saw him down in the field, and he is a big kid. Oh my goodness. He looks just like Alex Rodriguez did when Rodriguez came up.
Yep.
Same size, very tall. Two and one to count. American League rookie home run leaders: Correa, Sano, Souza Jr., and then Mark Canha. Sano hit a big home run today to tie up that game for the Twins. On the ground toward the shortstop, Simeon across the diamond, 2 outs. Correa is retired. Correa was the first overall pick in the 2012 draft. Byron Buxton, who's in the big leagues. Mike Zunino, we've seen quite a bit of him. Gosman's in the big leagues. Andrew Heaney is in the big leagues with the Angels. That's the first 10 picks. Mark Appel, drafted by the Pirates, did not sign. Next year drafted by the Astros and did sign. And he'll pitch in the big league soon for the Astros. Not this year, but maybe next year, as Lowry drops a single in the center field. So third hit by the Astros, but Sonny has walked 4. So here's the 5th place hitter, Colby Rasmus. Makes you wonder if next year for the Astros, Colby Rasmus, a free agent, wonder if his at-bats won't go to Preston Tucker.
Exactly right.
Not necessarily in center field, but
they've got Marisnik, Springer.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Gomez will be back next year.
Yeah.
High to center field. Burns going back. It'll come down at some point, and it does, into the glove of Billy Burns. No runs and a hit for the Astros, and we're headed to the 4th, 3-1 Houston.
MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay, reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and more at the MLB.com at bat right now.
4th inning from Minute Maid Park in Houston. Did they make the trip from the Bay Area, or are they just A's fans from Texas?
I think the latter.
Drive to left toward the Crawford boxes, and that baby's gone. 3-2 on the Simeon home run.
Well, just that quickly, it's a 3-2 game, just like last night. 2 home runs when the Astros are up 3-0. The back-to-back last night. These tonight a little bit different because they come a couple of innings apart, but nonetheless, Marcus Semien, another big home run, and he continues. That's 13 for him. In the A's in this month of September, just 1 day in which they did not hit a home run, or have not hit a home run, and that was the Colby Lewis start a week ago last night to start the road trip in Texas.
Little flare. Correa out and caught it. Terrific play by the young shortstop. And he ends up way down the left field line.
Well, I'm glad he didn't catch the one that Marcus Semien hit, because he crushed it. Oh, that pitch left up a belt high, and Kazmir knows the Crawford boxes. He knows his home park. And while he peaked a little bit, he knew once Semien hit the ball, no doubt into the boxes. And usually if you just have to get him in the front row, you might say from a pitcher standpoint, it's a cheapie, but that was to the back of it.
So that'll bring up Carson Blair. So the A's have scored 6 runs in this series so far, and all 6 have come on home runs.
That's a good point.
Solo shots except for Valencia's 2-run homer. Changeup catches the outside corner. 0-2 to Blair, who struck out in the second. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Scott Kazmir in the game. Fastball is up.
Young shortstop has a very strong arm, great range, and this is a really great range because it looked like Smolinski had a chance after hitting a home run to bloop one in left field, but robbed by Correa with a great play.
Hit hard, but Altuve ranges to his left and throws out Blair. Carson Blair 0 for 2. And with 2 outs, Gentry will hit. Pitch, fastball in for a strike. Gentry hit a fly ball to center field in the second inning. And there's that Kazmir changeup.
To be honest, I don't think he's throwing enough tonight.
Probably not.
He's throwing those first pitch fastballs, and of course Smolinski had 3-1 fastball. Semyon tried to get ahead, made a mistake.
Number 70 coming up for Kazmir. Gentry checks his swing. Mike Malinsky, the first base umpire.
Didn't go that close.
That one was close, but a bit inside.
Castro set up off the plate, and that's pretty much where the pitch was.
So full count to Gentry. Trying to get aboard with 2 outs. And he checks his swing. No swing. And he's got a 2-out walk. Third walk by Scott Kazmir. He's with 3 base runners in the first, couple base runners in the second, 1 in the third, 2 more here in the fourth. And base runners are including the home runs that were hit. So here's Burns, who hits for the 3rd time in 4 innings. Reached on an error, hit by a pitch. And off speed, that drops in for a strike.
If you run on Scott Kazmir, and Craig Gentry has the speed to be able to do it, you get a big lead and go on first move.
Go.
Let's go. Hope that Valbuena cannot make the throw to Correa, who probably would be the one coming second, but Gentry has that sprinter speed, and you don't try to read the move because Kazmir lifts the front foot and he could freeze a runner. He could throw first onto the plate.
Burns with a line drive over the head of a leaping Correa, and it's a 2-out rally for the A's. Burns has been on base all 3 times.
Well, maybe the threat of Gentry running, Kazmir getting a pretty good pitch to hit, and Eddie Burns, it's a one hand and over the tall shortstop Correa. Made a great play on Smolinski, but could not jump high enough to get this one.
So Canna will hit. Canna a strikeout. And then a deep drive to right center field that Rasmus made a nice play on near the wall. Looks like he's starting to mix in the changeup more now, right?
Well, the first pitch changeup, which get guys swinging hard at a fastball on the first pitch, you don't need to do it, especially with Kazmir, who can throw the changeup so effectively, looking like the fastball out of his hand. On the cut fastball that Mark Canna, watch him pull his hands in on the cutter and got it down the left field line. Kazmir hoping it would go foul. It went second deck fair, and a 3-run shot for Mark Canna at the Coliseum. A big one.
Canna on the year with 15 home runs. Good speed, Gentry and Burns ready to go. 5, 1 and 2.
A high strike, which the hitter, Canna, he's getting everything away. And again, Scott Kazmir, pitchers remember pitches that have been hit, and the cutter in, the mistake that Kazmir made. Now he's staying away.
Kazmir looks, kicks, and delivers. And this one popped up near the screen, and Castro will watch it go right into the seats. Pitch number 80 coming up for Kazmir, but not before he gets a visit from Castro. Outfield shifted toward right center for Canna. But foul right off the protection in front of the A's dugout. Nancy Velasquez starting to throw for the Astros. Kazmir has thrown a bunch of pitches tonight. Runners go on 1-2, and it's foul back. A little action on the base pass with the A's.
Yeah. And there's the speed like you mentioned, and with that kind of speed, why not? Castro really can't give a sign where to throw the pitch or the ball. You throw it back to pitcher because you have no chance with either one.
Runner goes from second to third, and Canna just got a piece of it. So Gentry will head back to second base.
Boy, he just barely touched it and way out in front of the changeup. And this time Burns did not follow Gentry, and he used it with a runner at first with a possibility of the runner at second stealing. The runner at first kind of turns and looks and points towards second base in sprinter type stance. Now Billy Burns is good to watch the runner in front of him.
Another 1-2 to Canna, and it's a base hit right center field. Gentry rounds third. He's going to score, and the 2-out rally by the A's has tied it at 3.
Remember the high fastball was called a strike and came back with the same pitch. And Kazmir left it up there, and Canna said, I'll go that direction. Semi-shifted. And Altuve near second. And actually went over and wow. How about that? The threat of him running had
he held him on like
basically standing at second base. And that's surprising because with 2 outs, why are you concerned about a runner at second base? Why not hold your position?
Yeah, he did. After Gentry ran a couple times, Altuve moved closer to second base.
Yeah, and you're right. He was standing there like he was a first baseman.
So the A's have scored twice here. A.J. Hinch is coming out. Kazmir has not been sharp in this game. 83 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. He's walked 3. He's given up 5 hits. And they're going to the bullpen. Yeah, how about that? So Scott Kazmir struggles big time tonight. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Velasquez coming in.
Games at Hohokam Park have been announced. Enjoy a first-class experience and get an early glimpse of next year's squad at the A's all-new spring training venue in Mesa, Arizona. For more information, visit athletics.com/spring today. They'll be there and getting ready for another season, but right now trying to finish this season in a positive manner. And who would have thought, the way the first inning started, that it would be Scott Kazmir leaving this game first?
Before Sonny Gray.
Velasquez pitched against the A's in Oakland in a game and showed off his very good fastball, which he has a good one in the mid-90s, curveball, slider, and changeup. He also gave up a home run to Josh Fake. Vincent Velasquez.
One of the many bright prospects for the Houston Astros. Scott Kazmir, 3 2/3 innings, 83 pitches, 3 runs so far. This has been a 2-out rally. There's a 2-out walk to Gentry. First pitch, fastball. Misses down and away to Laurie. Laurie a foul out. That was to first. And a fly ball to right field. Good breaking ball there by Velasquez.
Good boy, JC. Good boy, JC.
That's a good curveball. This is the one he hung to Fegley that he hit a home run. One curveball to Coliseum game. That's the one the A's held on to win 10 tonight.
1-1 the count to Laurie. See where Tucker's playing? We were talking about that last night. Let's see where he's playing. He is about directly in left center field. Breaking ball, 1-2. So the A's have tied it. This inning started with the Simeon home run and Cannon with the 2-out hit. So a 3-3 game here in the fourth. Blocked by Castro, but it rolls away, and Canna read it well, and he goes to second base.
Cannon's about as good as there is at getting a secondary lead and being able to take an extra base on a ball that's in the dirt. Castro, a good job to protect with the runner at third, but it's up base running by Canna, and that time nobody's coming second. I'm shocked that Altuve was paying that much attention to Gentry. So he still had to get a hit, and by vacating second base, he got the hit.
2-2 pitch fastball, and Laurie strikes outside, retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the A's. So as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning from Houston, we got a brand new ball game. It's the Astros 3, and it's the A's 3. That's the statue of Sam Houston. So he's got a town named after him. He's got a college named after him. That ain't bad. Must have did something good.
Named town?
Sam Houston State.
Sure. A little bit of everything. So of the 2 former teammates, only one is standing, and that is Sonny Gray.
Even after a 44-pitch first inning. So he'll face Gaddis, Valbuena, and Tucker. Swing and a miss. Gaddis walked in the first inning. Doubled off a little bit later on in that inning. So he's looking for his first hit in this series, leading the Astros in home runs and RBIs. Now 1-2 the count. pitch is hit hard into left field, and Gaddis has his first hit in the series.
Good news about that was on the ground. It didn't get under it. Short, compact swing, no stride. Make a mistake, you'll crush it. And that's a crush.
So leadoff man aboard. Here's Valbuena. Valbuena hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning. It's the fly ball that Gaddis was thrown out trying to advance from first to second on the fly ball. Curve misses high. So right back into the stretch is Sonny Gray. He has spent very little time in the lineup tonight. That one is on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, the one thing he might be saving Sonny Gray, the fact that he only threw 75 pitches in the 3+ innings Monday in Chicago, and as he's getting ready to make his 70th in the 4th inning, it might give him some extra tosses tonight, depending on what the skipper and pitching coach decide to do. Get a start like Sonny Gray did on Monday night. It's 4 days in between the longest days of your life. Can't wait to get to the 5th day so you can start pitching again. And then he starts out the way he did tonight, throwing a lot of pitches. But he has settled down and seen his club come back and tie it.
Short lead for Gaddis at first, and the pitch is low, and now it's 3-1. Rangers leading the Mariners 3-1 at the end of 2 innings in Arlington. So Valbuena, who generally does not get cheated, he'll be looking to take a rip at something on 3-1. And he checks his swing, rolls it toward Valencia, who underhands to second to get the out there. Valbuena beats the throw back to first.
Well, just enough of a check swing that Valencia can get to it, even with a shift. And Brett Laurie, a lot of credit. He tried to turn what would have been an impossible double play coming across the bag. Valbuena with a check swing, maybe had to find the ball before he started running. Laurie put it in anyway, and almost got it done.
So Valbuena now at first for Preston Tucker. Tucker, big swing by the young man. Tucker, 25 years old. He's a collegiate star at the University of Florida. And that pitch misses outside. 7th round pick in 2012 was Preston Tucker. And as Ray said, the Astros think that in time he will be a regular in their lineup. Very strong and can hit the ball a long ways.
Well, what he's done this year, just coming up, and he's not getting a chance to play every day, but probably will in the future. But the Astros have such a good farm system, they don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on free agents. They got them right. They got them homegrown. Yeah.
They got more players on their way. Jason Castro waits in the on-deck circle. Big bouncer, but foul down the first base line. It's Jeff Luhnow, the general manager.
And all they can do is watch.
They've done their job.
Craig Biggio and so Beach earlier, now Jeff Luhnow sitting side by side. Usual assistant to Jeff Luhnow.
And Tucker strikes out on the 1-2 pitch. Strikeout number 2 for Sonny Gray. And it's Castro.
A high breaking ball. That's the one that was crushed in Chicago, but Tucker could not make contact on a pitch that's usually very hittable.
So Castro steps in. He walked in the second inning. The Angels just scored 3 times in the top of the 6th inning, so they lead the Twins 3-0 going to the bottom of the 6th in game 2 of their doubleheader. Could be a big day for the Angels after winning game 1. Cleveland Indians came into today 3 games behind the Astros for the second wild card. So they're not out of it just yet. And the Indians and the White Sox are tied 1-1 in the 5th inning in Cleveland. Outside, 3-0.
Sonny Gray knows that Jason Castro's power is to pull the pull side, and 3 fastballs left outside off the plate. Was not being able to catch the corner. It was deep in center and in right field. Gentry deep.
And 3-0. Castro may have swung at ball 4.
Seeing more and more of that, at least the green light. So Correa hit one straight up the chute in Oakland on the 3-0 fastball, but you're right, that was ball 4.
And a swing and a miss again, and now it's 3-2.
Center pitch that was not called a strike. Castro went after it and still trying to pull. Why is it throwing 82 pitches? It's that pull right there. 6 full counts.
Bounced toward Canna. Underhands to Gray. Side retired. So a leadoff single by Gaddis. Nothing else. So Sonny Gray. And the A's are through 4 innings, and we're tied 3-3. By Hotel Transylvania 2. It's in theater starting September 25th. So 3-3. A's and Astros 3-5-1 for each team. Top of the 5th. And Danny Valencia to lead it off against Velasquez, who came in for Scott Kazmir. Got the final out in the 4th inning. So the hard-throwing young right-hander. His job is to give A.J. Hinch a couple of innings.
The way he throws, he's capable. Got a good fastball, live fastball, the one that he got lowered to end the 4th inning.
And that one hooked foul. It was off-speed pitch that hung up there. Valencia just a little bit out front. Valencia with a single and a walk so far. Last night he was 3 for 3. Chops this one up the third base line. Lowry throws, not in time. Valencia's got another hit.
Can't make a play any better than that, and just topped it, 2 strikes. Third baseman plays back deeper, and you just try to make it. He did, but Valencia good speed, hustling down the line as he topped the ball, and it's like there that everything seemed to be fine as he was running to first base.
So Valencia in this series, Ray, 5 for 5 with 2 walks and 2 home runs. So here's Butler. Butler with a walk, and then he hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the 3rd. Simeon to follow here in the 5th. To the A's DH. The Cubs won again today. They beat the Cardinals again, 5-4 at Wrigley Field. Cubs have won 5 in a row.
Good Joe Madden comments.
Yeah, Joe is not happy with the Cardinals. Some batters getting hit by pitches. Gray has it out at second. The throw to first, and they got him on a double play. Broken bat, part of the bat run over toward third base. The ball was not hit very hard, but the Astros were still able to turn the double play. So just like that, 2 outs.
Well, you talk about off the end of the bat, and that's 2-0. And Billy Butler has been doing so well to the opposite field that this one tried to pull the outside pitch, and that's why he broke his bat, hit it off the end. But still, the 6-4-3 easily turned. Get 2 quick outs.
So Simeon steps in. Simeon homered in the 4th. He's 2 for 6 in the series. The home run was his 13th of the year. 3 of those 13 home runs have come against the Astros.
Nice swing again. Marcus Simeon, first pitch. Elevated fastball. Crawford boxes. Here we come.
Simeon, the home run came off Kazmir. He has hit over 300 this year against left-handed pitching. Velasquez yet to throw a strike to Marcus. is on the inside corner. 3-1. Astros will have the top of the order up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Way inside, and he walked in. So walk number 4 by Astros pitchers.
Tilly Silverman has a good arm. He is airing it out. Good fastball. Almost see why or how Billy Butler broke his back. Maybe cut on it just enough to get towards the end of the bat. They break it.
Here's Smolinski. You know, Ray, looking at this Astros bullpen, this is what Smolinski did in the 4th inning. I'll make that the 2nd inning. Simmons was in the 4th. What the power by this young man. The Astros bullpen, Ray. A lot of people feel like they need somebody like Velasquez because there's not a lot of power arms now.
It's true.
Nishak's not. Gregerson's not. The lefties, Thatcher, Sip, not really.
Yeah.
Harris, not really. Qualls, not really. They're all sinker, hit ground ball, slider kind of guys. But not a lot of power arms. Fields is a bit of a power. That one hit toward left center field. And it is off the wall. Simeon racing around 3rd. He's going to score, and Smolinski gives the A's the lead with a booming double to left center field.
Well, and Tucker played that absolutely incorrectly. Helped the A's, but it definitely helped the A's score a run because he went back almost like he thought he was going to catch it. Instead of assuming it was over his head and playing the carom, a hanging breaking ball, and Smolinski again coming through. Boy, up in his eyes. But this clearly over the head of Tucker in left field. And maybe because he was playing where he was in left center, he thought he had a shot. But he goes back, stop right there, play the carom. And now he has to chase it, and coming over from center is Rasmus. Meanwhile, 2 outs. Marcus Semien can go. No hesitation with the ball off the wall. And considering the way it hit and came back towards the infield, could score easily. It's a big hit by Smolinski again.
So here's Carson Blair. So a big 2-out hit for Smolinski. So he's got a couple of RBIs tonight.
And back-to-back innings in which the A's have gotten 2-out hits. One to tie, that was Cannon. This one to give him the lead. Smolinski.
First pitch to Blair is a strike on the outside corner.
Just talking about the overpowering fastball. He hangs a curveball in the eyes. Sometimes guys want to trick hitters instead of going with their best stuff. Which in this case, Velasquez, it's an intimidating fastball, but he hangs a breaking ball.
That breaking ball snaps in for strike 0-2 to Blair, who has struck out and grounded out. So the A's have taken the lead. They were down 3-0 after 1 inning. 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 4th, 1 here in the 5th to give the A's the 4-3 lead. And there's a base hit to left field. Here comes Smolinski. Here comes Tucker's throw. It's offline. It's an RBI hit. And Blair goes to 2nd. And the A's lead 5-3. So the Blair family enjoying that one. An RBI single for Carson Blair.
Now the breaking ball, same one he just took for a strike. This one he hammered up left field. And Ron Washington, he had to know the arm strength or lack of consistency of the throw from Tucker, because there was no hesitation sending Smolinski. And a big 2-out hit and a 2-strike hit on the curveball.
And here's Gentry, another runner in scoring position. Fastball misses outside. So the A's a 2 spot here in the 5th to take the lead 5-3.
Well, it's almost a carbon copy of last inning type. A home run by Simeon, then 2 outs, a walk, and then the hits. This inning, a base hit, double play, and then the walk, a double, single. So big 2-out hits.
So 2-0 to Gentry. And that one in there for a strike. So Kazmir went 3 2/3, gave up 3 runs. Velasquez getting knocked around here in the 5th. He's given up 3 hits and a walk. Got the big help on the double play. So the count now even 2-2. He's about hit the Astros 8-4 so far. Drive toward right center field, and nobody's going to get that one. Run comes in to score. Gentry hits the bag at second. He's digging for third, and he will make it with a triple. Another run has scored. 6-3 A's lead.
And shall we say what the pitch was again? Because Gentry found a fastball, so what's he get? A slow curveball. He did not catch up on the fastball, and curveball, Springer couldn't get it. Rasmus over. Meanwhile, one square scores easily. And here comes a breaking ball. Craig Gentry with the ball in the gap, and he definitely can fly. It's a big hit for him because he had a tough year at Nashville, so he comes back, he walks, scores a run, and then hit for slide on a triple, scoring another. Brett Strom might be saying, you got a pretty good fastball. Why don't you use it?
Well,
especially with 2 strikes in.
But at this point, too, I mean, does Castro deserve some blame?
Well,
you know what I mean? I know they're in this together.
Exactly, and that Castro must be seeing something that he's calling the curveballs and the sliders. But the one thing, if a hitter and Gentry had the count in his favor, and he found a fastball to the right side, what does that tell you? That his bat's not able to catch up to a good fastball, and Velasquez throws it in the mid-90s. So throws a breaking ball and hammers it to right center, and that was another 2-strike pitch. So you look at a 2-strike to Blair, 2 strikes to Gentry.
38th triple this year for the A's. 2 away from tying the Oakland record for triples in a season. 2 singles, double, and a triple in this inning, and the first pitch breaking ball misses high. All this with 2 outs after Butler hit into the 6-4-3 double play. 2 outs, bases empty. Walk, double, single, triple, and 3 runs. Another breaking ball, and it's 2-0. That fastball, and Burns swings and misses. Outfield shallow as always for Burns toward left center field. If he hit one well to right center field, we may have action, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I always look forward to seeing that. it's different, but I always wanted to watch Mark McGwire face the hard throwers, and got the chance to see it with Randy Johnson. This is one you'd like to see the speed of Billy Burns. I mean,
to see a line drive toward right center hit pretty well.
Roll up Towles Hill and just watch him run all the way.
3-2 the count. Payoff pitch to Burns. And it's a fastball, and he struck him out swinging. So 3 runs on 4 hits for the Athletics. And we're going to the bottom of the 5th. The A's now have a 6-3 lead. We'll be back.
.31, A's right-hander Lefty Grove becomes the first pitcher since 1920 to win 30 games. Only 2 more pitchers will win as many games. Dizzy Dean winning 30 for the Cardinals in 1934, and Denny McLain won 31 for the Tigers in 1968. So to say that you will see 30-game winners, probably not. How about Lefty Grove? There he is. He probably started about 60 games. And that's when they warmed up in front of the dugouts. How about that? I remember that. You'd warm up in front of the dugout and fans could watch you. Now they hide you in the bullpen.
They needed a bullpen.
Yeah. So let's go to the bullpen. Well, Adam came up with this great note, and 39 pitches in the first inning. Since then, just 44 pitches, no runs. Walk, 2 hits, so all good things for Sonny Gray after a very horrible first inning, but he's seen his club come back and score, as they say, 6 unanswered runs. First pitch fastball for a base hit.
So Altuve not messing around.
Never does. First pitch high fastball after the A's put the runs on the board. Last 4 have come with 2 outs. And Altuve didn't waste any time. Double to left center in the first inning, scored a run, and now leads off this inning.
Here's Springer. Walked and scored in the first, struck out in the third. And Springer takes a pitch into there. Rangers still leading the Mariners 3-1, bottom of the 4th inning in Arlington. Angels leading the Twins 4-0. 7th inning in Minnesota after the Angels won game 1 of the doubleheader, so they're going for the sweep. There's a strike to Springer. So Sonny Gray, 86 pitches. Trying to get through 5. there's a liner just over the head of a leaping Semien. Oh, he didn't miss that by much, and it looked like he timed his leap just about right.
Another fastball that was elevated, and Springer got it about belt high. So a long inning for the A's top half of the inning. If he did score 3 runs, this ball, you're right, Semien timed it perfectly and just went up and couldn't catch it.
So 2 on, nobody out. 6 hits now off Sonny Gray, and that'll bring up Carlos Correa. Correa, a sacrifice fly in the first, and a ground out in the third. Almost looked like he may have even got a little bit of leather on it. It was that close. Pitch to Correa in for a strike.
Lucky that wasn't up with Bobby Dynamite.
Yeah.
We want to keep him quiet.
Quiet so far. 1 home run last night for the Astros. Tonight, Astros scored all their runs in the first inning. Foul to the screen. So Sonny ahead 0-2. On deck is Jed Lowry and then Rasmus. Good speed for the Astros. Two pitch, tapped in the hole. Semien has it, fires to second, and they get the out there. So it'll be a fielder's choice.
Great play by Marcus Semien. I thought maybe he'd go to third base because his momentum was carrying him that direction, but able to go into the hole and quickly throw it back to Loy, who was stretching at second. And that's a good play on Semien's part, and also on Brett Lawrie to stretch out very nicely like a first baseman and do a good job getting the out at second base, keeping the double play in order. Of course, if he had thrown to third, that's a forced play, which he could have done.
So here's Jed Lowry, a double, a single, an RBI, and a run scored so far tonight. So he is 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs in this series. It's a fastball high. Pomeranz is throwing out in the A's bullpen. Could be 2. Out at second, and that's a double play. Just what Sonny Gray needed. So a couple of hits for the Astros, but they do not score, and we're on to the 6th. And the A's leading 6-3. Post-game show of the team. It's Sunday to Sunday. The home of the authentic Raiders fan is CSN. So A's leading 6-3 in the top of the 6th inning, trying to make it 2 in a row over the Astros. So Sonny Gray got a much-needed double play. Well, the A's come to bat here in the 6th. It'll be Canna, Laurie, and Valencia. Velasquez back out there. First pitch, swing and a miss by Canna. So Velasquez gave up 3 in the 5th. It's the story of the bullpen. And for an area that's been a strength for most of the season for the Astros, but lately it has not been good. A 6.99 ERA in the month of September. And that's an issue. 1-1 to Canna. Slider, and Canna did not go.
You know, one of the great things about Mark Canna is how the aggressiveness is there, but he's disciplined enough to stop at the pitches out of strike zone. That's where Marcus Semien is going to get. And Mark Canna can start it, and if it's a good pitch, he's going to drive it. And I think for Marcus Semien, what he is doing and continuing to play, those sliders he's been swinging at, he's going to stop his swing, and he's going to start getting the big hits even more than he already has. Just his first year, so a lot of positive things for these young players getting a chance to play every day.
Up inside, and a high fastball, and Canna chased it. So Canna 1 for 4 after the strikeout. 1 away here in the 6th.
Somebody told Velasquez about his fastball because Brett Strom went out, struck out Billy Burns on a 3-2 heater. This 1-2 fastball to Canna.
May have told him too late.
You're exactly right.
Laurie is 0 for 3. He is fouled out. Flied out to right and struck out. Good breaking ball there by Velasquez. Steals a strike with it. One and one the count with Valencia to follow. A's bullpen is quiet right now, so double play may have got Sonny Gray another inning. Sky to left field. Tucker now comes in. He's got it. No Laurie 0 for 4. Had a pretty good swing at that pitch.
Well, really, that's the difference. You throw a good fastball, and you know the hits last inning, when you throw the breaking pitch after good fastball, hitters kind of load up and gear up for a good fastball. So if you make a mistake and leave a breaking ball up, their swing has already started for a fastball, and it speeds it up that much more to get a breaking ball.
Pitch to Valencia is a fastball in there for a strike. Valencia has yet to be retired in this series. Tonight, a single, walk, and a single. Last night, single, 2 home runs, and a walk. And now he's behind in the count 1-2. His base hit in the 5th inning was an infield hit. Having a big series. 16 home runs and 60 RBIs. Castro earning his money tonight.
You know, unless you had 2 strikes on hitter, catcher can just lay that.
Let it go.
Let it go.
I'd give Castro credit, but let it go.
Well, that was 2 strikks, so you let it go and he swings at it. While just like with Valencia the other night in Chicago with Robertson in the 9th inning. Throws the hard curve ball and can't handle it. First base unoccupied, he reaches. So that's the only reason a catcher will do it with 2 strikes. And he's got plenty of work tonight, and Carson Blair the same.
Pitch is fouled right toward Alan Ashby next door. Ash made an effort. He did not do a full bailout. Adam, our stat man, stayed put. He did not. Stay right there, buddy. That was coming in hot.
Yeah, they're in perfect spot for it to come in hot there.
Slider away, 2-2.
You notice that ball Adam has a 50th anniversary logo on it?
Yeah.
That's the reason Adam didn't give it away.
I think you're right. That's why he went after it the way he did.
Yeah, probably.
2-2. Here's the pitch to Valencia. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball that time. So it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Vince Velasquez. And we're going to the bottom of the 6th. 6-3. A's lead.
Smolinski, a 3-1 fastball. The Astros had a 3-0 lead. That made it 3-1. Marcus Semien would make it a 1-run game, 3-2. Still the Astros, but then the A's would start to come back, and this was it. Mark Canha with a base hit to right center. That would tie the game. And in the next inning, Smolinski with a double. This was left center. This was where it all started to happen. That was a hanging breaking ball with 2 outs. This was after a double play that Butler round into it. Another breaking ball that Gentry tripled to right center. And he drove in a run also. Head first slide into third base for a triple, the 38th for the Athletics this season. And it's been a good night for the Athletics as they now lead 6-3 after trailing 3-0 in the first inning. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK AT&T, mobilizing your world. That's the ball that Adam went after, and the 50th anniversary logo is almost gone. So he was going after something that was almost disintegrating.
And he got it. Astros started back in 1962. Rasmus drives one left center, and Burns cannot quite get it. Picks it up quickly, and Rasmus has a leadoff double here in the 6th.
Well, again, a pitch elevated, and that's one thing, Sonny Gray, we saw it in Chicago and started to see it in the last couple of innings. This ball slicing, looked like Billy was going to go after it. Started to go the head first dive, no chance. It was too far away from him. Rasmus leads off this inning after Altuve led off last inning. They couldn't score last inning.
So here's Gaddis. Gaddis takes low. So I was thinking, Ray, well, if this is the 54th year that it's been baseball in Houston. So what are they celebrating 50 years for?
I think the 65 when the Astros. The Astros. Because they were the Houston Colt 45.
So they're celebrating that. Technically, baseball has been here since '62.
Tell you how things have changed. I was being scouted by the Astros prior to the '65 draft. Was invited to come to Houston to work out at the Astrodome back when it first opened.
So yeah, that was the first year, right?
And it was disallowed by Major League Baseball because they thought it was going to influence my decision. When you're drafted, you have to sign with the team you're drafted by, which is what happened in '65. But it was a nice offer anyway. A kid from Marion, Illinois, come to Houston, the Astrodome.
But see, if they're celebrating 50 years of the Astrodome,
the Astros. The Astros.
But they've been here since 2000.
No, but the Astros. But the Astros, Houston Astros started in '65, and they've been right. And the Astrodome then, and they tore that down. Adam, go after your baseball.
Popped up to Laurie, who is under it in shallow right field, and he's got it. So a big out there.
Adam's got too many notes over there. Then he's got all these notes you're writing to you. Don't try to take that baseball.
So here's Valbuena. Yeah, this ballpark opened in 2000, so they've been here for 16 years. Minute Maid. So one away here in the 6th, and that'll bring up Valbuena. Valbuena, a fly out and a fielder's choice so far. Playing first base, Chris Carter played first base last night.
You know, Valbuena's good. He's hit a bunch of home runs. But for some reason, with him in the lineup, that presence of Chris Carter on the bench, him in the lineup, I heard the crack last night. And he just seems like every time Chris Carter's at the plate, you're just fearful that one time he's going to make contact. And when he does,
yeah, it's kind of funny because they really are. They're similar players. They just bat from different sides of the plate, but they strike out a lot. Not a high average, but they hit the long.
You know, Chris Carter said tonight, good block by Blair, but he said tonight the two balls he popped up to center field, he hit better than the home run. And he was trying to hit him to center field, but he hit him straight up. Now, he's the type of player that he could use his power whole field from line to line and still be able to hit home runs. And when they remove Towers Hill, center field make it 408, he can go that direction also.
Pitch number 101, and it's lined to right. That's a hit. Rasmus will round third. He will score. Valbuena comes through with an RBI single, and it's 6-4.
Off-speed pitch, and Valbuena went after it, hooked it. And there's the gap. You can see where Laurie is playing. He wouldn't have gotten it anyway to normal second base position.
Well, Bob Melvin is coming out. It has been a grind for Sonny Gray the entire night. He has not made the call just yet, and now he has. So Sonny Gray, 5 1/3 innings tonight. He's going to leave with the lead. So Sonny Gray, after 101 pitches, will hand it over to Drew Pomeranz. We'll be back. Pomeranz coming in.
Photo presented by YP.com on Tuesday, September the 22nd. That's when the A's are back home next Tuesday. That'll be the A's versus the Rangers game. 10,000 fans will go home with a 2015 team photo. It's a perfect souvenir for collecting autographs from your favorite A's players. For information and tickets, head to athletics.com/tickets. Yeah, that's when you want to get autographed. And Sonny Gray looking for his 14th win. Need some bullpen help for that to happen tonight.
8 hits, 4 runs so far. 101 pitches for Sonny.
The first inning was a tough inning for him. Number of pitches, and it's over a third of his total in the first inning alone.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So Drew Pomeranz comes in, and he's going to face the pinch hitter Chris Carter. So Carter hitting for Tucker here in the 6th. So a 2-run game now. Carter 19 home runs on the year. And 19 was last night. And this one's popped up. Lowry, foul territory, tough play, and he caught it. And hanging on.
He didn't see it initially. He looked up and he started running in the area where he thought it might come down. But as he was running because of the shift, and watch him start to look up, and right there is, I'm seeing, oh, there, okay, now I got it, and then that's a snow cone on top of it. And then from right field with Gentry, and he was but that's what you do. If you don't find it initially, stay with it. You know the direction where the ball is headed anyway.
So we got another pinch hitter. Going to be right-handed hitting Matt Duffy. Duffy made his major league debut on Wednesday night in Texas. He's hitting for Castro. First pitch is outside.
Going to see a Matt Duffy next weekend, right?
That's right.
It's exactly the same.
Not that common of a name, is it?
No, it's not.
Matt Duffy?
Well, Frank Duffy was shortstop of the Indians many years ago. He was a giant. Traded to the Indians.
Well, the count 1-1. Pomeranz trying to just keep it a 1-run inning for the Astros. Slider is low. Sonny Gray. He can only win it with a 2-run lead. So foul just to our right.
You never like to come out after 5 innings because you're looking at a whole bunch of outs from the bullpen. Retain your lead. Of course, the A's looking for the win regardless of how they get it. But from Sonny's standpoint, he is hopeful that, like Jesse Chavez in a game not too long ago, he got 12 outs out of the bullpen. Bullpen pitched great in Chicago, pitched very well last night. Pomeranz part of that here.
Fouled straight back again. It's a good battle here, Pomeranz and Duffy. And Rodriguez starts to throw.
It'll be a mix and match now for the A's bullpen, and plenty of relievers to come in and try to keep the Astros from coming back.
Second level, and the count remains 2-2. Altuve would be next, but 2 outs. And that one's hit high and deep, left field. Smolinski near the wall, and it is off the wall. Valbuena's going to come in to score, and it's 6-5. And the Astros are all saying that it went out. Right now, it's a double.
Well, the fastball, remember what we said and have seen, the high fastballs. This was the low fastball, and Duffy timed it perfectly, and boy, he came close. Low fastball, crushed it. And I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a 2-run home run, and see if we can see where it hits. If it's below the yellow line, it's a double. So it did not go out, and backing up was Burns, keeping Duffy at second. Meanwhile, it's a 1-run game in the 6th.
So Duffy pinch hit double, and we got a pinch runner, and we got a new pitcher. So we'll be back. It's now 6-5. A's hanging on.
Offer a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits, and including half-price parking, a flexible ticket exchange program, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/2016. Ah, there's our buddy. There's a guy right there. He's ready. Always ready.
So Matt Duffy gets his first major league hit, and it's a big one. And he is now back in the dugout. Jake Marisnick is the pinch runner.
It's almost the first major league hit being a home run, like Carson Blair. Wow. I tell you, it sounded like it was going to go more than just a double.
It did.
Of course, it went in that left center field area that you have talked about, in the position of the left fielder, versus pulling it in the Crawford boxes.
So Rodriguez in, and his job is to get Altuve. That's Marisnick, the pinch runner at second base. 2 runs in so far. And Altuve hits. He's got a double, a single, and he hit into a double play. So 2 for 3. First pitch down and into Altuve. Rodriguez last pitched on Thursday in Chicago. And he was good. He went 2 innings. That's a strike.
And that's a surprise he wasn't swinging. Dangerous hitter because he can use the whole field. Right now, Brett Lawrie trying to keep Marisnick close in second, similar to what Altuve did with Canha hitting. So big gap on the right side, and with a fastball from Rodriguez, that's dangerous.
Swing and a miss. Got a downward action on that pitch. Now Altuve behind in the count 1-2.
It was going straight down, and Altuve going for the downs on that one, and no chance. Got the leg kick, foot down, and the ball was down, and his head was into the A's dugout.
Lawrie trying to keep Marisnick close at second base. One-two pitch is hit high in the air to left field. Smolinski is right there. And he's got it side retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Astros. So as we go to the 7th inning, it's a 1-run game. 6-5 A's. Muscle Sports Nutrition, now with 25 Bay Area locations. Come visit our newest stores in Pleasanton and Gilroy. 6-5, it's the 7th inning. He's hanging on. So a tight one last night, and it is that way again tonight. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Chad Qualls comes in for appearance number 56. He's 2-4 with a 3.99 ERA. He does have 4 saves. So he will face Butler, Simeon, and Smolinski here in the 7th inning. Well, the veteran right-hander. Big fella pitching from the stretch. First pitch to Butler is low. Colby Rasmus slides over to left field. Jake Marisnick stays in the game in center field after pinch running. Butler takes a strike, 1-1. Butler tonight getting to a couple of double plays and walk. Max Stassi is now the catcher. So 1-2 the count. So Rasmussen left, Marisnick in center, Stassi behind the plate. That's your changes for the Astros. Swing and a miss as Butler chased a hard slider down and away.
Well, that's a breaking ball that's almost impossible to hit, and this is the chase slider. Cap, we've talked about this, and that's what you do. You throw it so hard and so far outside, trying to get a right-handed hitter to chase it, and he did.
Qualls will now face Marcus Simeon, who has grounded out, homered, and walked. Marcus has scored a couple of runs. The home run, his 13th of the year. Right to Altuve. The shift was on. He was playing right near second base, and that's exactly where the ball was hit. So 2 outs here in the 7th inning. The Rangers are opening things up in their home ballpark. They now lead the Mariners 8-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mariners won last night 3-1. Different story tonight. Hard sinker for a strike. That's a Qualls specialty right there. Smolinski has homered, doubled, scored twice, knocked in 2. He's had a big game. His home run was in the 2nd inning, his 6th of the year.
There's never a time for the A's to add on. This would be it. Next 3 innings, because Astros seem like they have a little bit of momentum going back to their side. Being the home team, they're going to get some into the game at bats, and so, very nice. Qualls last year gave up, seemed like every time he pitched against the A's, he gave up something.
Well, he had 4 blown saves against the A's last year.
It's been a different story for him this year against the A's, but A's hope that's going to be the case next year, where their bullpen is much better, and it already seems that way in this month.
Swing and a miss, a high fastball.
Good sinker down, good slider away, and then elevated the fastball.
So 2-2. Popped up left side of the diamond. Lowry, the third baseman, is under it. And he's got it. Chad Quarles has a 3-up, 3-down inning. 7th inning stretch has arrived. It's a 6-5 game. A's leading the Astros.
Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
As promised, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to CSNCA Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Olympia Soto from Hollister sent in this photo. Green Day fireworks night, and she said, I'm with my favorite people. We camped out in left field. Sounds like a good time. Another tight ball game. And it's 6-5, bottom of the 7th. Astros are going to look up, and they're going to see that the Texas Rangers are winning big tonight at home. And the Astros trailing the Rangers by 2.5.
I think they're also going to see that the Angels are going to sweep a doubleheader from the Twins.
Yeah, Angels winning 5-1 in the 9th inning, second game of a doubleheader. That could be a huge day for the Angels.
Important thing for the Angels, they have the A's. They have the Rangers at home next week, and then go to Anaheim. So 6 games remaining against those two teams.
And how about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Angels right here.
That's right. That's right.
That's pretty good stuff. Yeah, next week for the Astros, maybe as good a week as there is as far as pennant race baseball, because they play the Angels Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They play the Rangers Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's good stuff there.
That's great stuff. Same 3 teams that the Astros played on the just concluded road trip.
Valencia fires it across the diamond to get Springer. So 1 out. The Astros record against the West this year, 4-12 against the Rangers. That could come back and haunt them. They're 9-7 against the Angels, 10-6 in the Mariners, and 8-9 against the A's. So all told, 31-34 within the division. But those games against the Rangers, those are ones that are hurting the most.
And they have to hope, after being swept 4 games in Arlington, that whenever the Rangers come here, they take advantage of their home field advantage and try to pay back. Right now the A's are right in front of them.
1-0 to Carlos Correa. Sac fly, ground out, fielder's choice for Correa. So he's 0 for 6 in the series. And that one belted high and foul, and it bangs off one of those.
Well, this is what the A's saw in Oakland against this young man, and that was a September 7th game, and it was a shot, and the Astros were down 8-2. Unfortunately, the A's added 2 more, while the Astros would make it 9 total.
It's quite a game.
It was some kind of a game, and boy, the Astros, it was scary the way this young man was hitting some rocket shots. Almost hit another one just now.
Curve and a good one. So 1-2.
Correa got the first home run off of Fernando, what, 40-some-odd innings, and then got him again on that afternoon that we just showed. So twice he got him at the Coliseum, and neither one were very cheap.
Fastball high, and the count 2-2. Lowry to follow. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you have to be thinking of he has to be thinking about the curveball that Correa took for strike 2.
Line drive, left field, the base hit. He reached for it.
Kid's pretty good.
Yeah, he covered that breaking ball.
I mean, he just Fernando dropped a curveball for a strike, and he took it like he had no chance with the knees buckling, and then came back with it again. But you'd have to think after the fastball that missed, he's coming back with it. That's not a bad curve. That's down in the zone, and Correa just one-handed line drive to left field. Good curveball by Fernando. Give the young man credit because he had a pretty good pitch.
So Lowry hits. Correa can also run. He's got 12 stolen bases. He's only been thrown out 3 times. He's got a little lean going. Pitch is a strike to Lowry. Lowry's got a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 3. Knocked in a run, scored a run. That was in the first inning. We're 3 for 6 in the series. Swing and a miss, and Rodriguez ahead 0-2.
See how much Jed Lowry now changes his approach and to pretty aggressive swings. And now with 2 strikes, he is a different hitter, as we have mentioned, as we have seen.
Gray with a pretty good lead at first. That's a final. The Angels beat the Twins 5-2 in Game 2 of that doubleheader after winning Game 1 4-3. So a big day for the Angels.
And a 12-hour day was worth it.
It was definitely worth it.
That's the clock there for a 12 o'clock game. Extra innings in the first, won that one, and won the second.
Swing and a miss on a high heater. Lowry strikes out.
Well, that was good news there because he stayed with the fastballs. He threw a couple by Jed Lowry, and then the 0-2 went up a little bit higher and away from him. And while he may have been thinking about left field, could not catch up with a good heater from Fernando Rodriguez.
So here's Colby Rasmus. Rasmus, a walk, a fly ball to center, and a double. Just missed. Rasmus, another hitter, no batting gloves. Evan Gattis in the on-deck circle, no batting gloves. Shift is on for Rasmus. Valencia playing near second base. And now it's 2-0. The A's lead Marcus Semien right at his normal spot, shortstop.
I tell you what, Brett Lawrie is playing in shallow right field. I mean, that is deep, very deep.
It's deep where if it's a slow grounder, he's really going to have a tough time getting Rasmus.
I was thinking just a normal ground ball cat because Rasmus can run.
Yes, he can.
And for now, you have to charge the ball, and but you hope you get a good hop when you do it. But this is not a slow, lumbering hitter to play.
He's going to lefty up and Fernando Abad. Missed badly inside, and Rasmus has a walk. So 5 walks issued by the A's tonight, and here's Gattis. So Kurt Young will visit Rodriguez. Ryan Dull, 2 innings last night.
Yeah, just have to wonder, and I know Bob Melvin said it'd be similar, throwing 6 pitches in the 8th inning. 19, so 25 pitches total. I had him, but we will see. Another, 2 on Thursday. Dull 2 last night. Ideally, Bob Melvin would like to have Dull for the 8th and Doolittle for the 9th. We do not know if that's going to take place tonight. Right now, the A's trying to get through the 7th.
So Gattis is ready. He's walked. He has singled. And he's popped out. Correa at second, Rasmus at first. And the pitch is hit to right field, and that's hit well. Gentry's back. He's at the wall. He leaps. It's gone.
The fastball left it up just enough, and welcome to Houston. Fernando knows it well. He pitched here, but Gattis, I think he thought he had enough, and he was correct. Gentry back, and just no chance as it got a few rows deep in right field. So I guess Evan Gattis, after his gaffe in the early part of the game, getting doubled off, trying to tie to go to second. 5th home run to right field, and that's a huge blow for the Astros.
So Rodriguez is done, and A's will head back to the bullpen. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So Rodriguez gives up the 3-run homer to Evan Gattis. Maybe Gattis' biggest home run as an Astro.
25th, and now he's driven in 83, and you're right. Especially after Fernando had struck out Jed Lowry on 3 pitches. He walked Rasmus on 4 and almost hit him with the 4th. And then first pitch home run to right field. But that's the Minute Maid Park, and that's what happens here with this park, that the ball will travel that way.
So Abad to face Balbuena. Balbuena bunts and bunts in 5. Balbuena's got a hit tonight, and it knocked in a run. That was in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. Swung right through that fastball from Abad. So the Astros now with an 8-6 lead. Change up, and it's low. Sips the lefty, Harris is the righty. Swing and a miss, and Balbuena strikes out, but damage done by the Astros. One swing of the bat by big Evan Gattis as he homers to right field. And it was a 3-run shot, so as we go to the 8th inning, Astros now lead 8-6. On our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Highlights from this game here at Minute Maid Park. Also, lots of college football highlights today, and we'll get you ready for the 49ers and the Steelers from Pittsburgh. Kelly Johnson will host. So the Astros now lead 8-6 as they have battled back. They were trailing 6-3. Now 8-6 they lead. They go to the bullpen and get Will Harris, the right-hander, who pitched an inning last night. He pitched the 7th inning. So he's back out there tonight. It'll be Blair, Gentry, and Burns for the A's. 61st appearance for Will Harris. He's the 4th pitcher of the night for the Astros. Outside corner.
One of the power arms got a good fastball coming out of the pen, but also throws a cutter, which at times will take away some of the velocity.
Blair had an RBI single in the 5th inning. That was the inning that the A's took the 6-3 lead. See who's out on deck, right? Stephen Vogt.
That's good.
That's good to see.
But it's for Gentry, not for Blair, which means he probably will pitch hit and head back to dugout. Remember, he has not been in a game since 2 weeks from tomorrow. And he's probably fortunate to be in the on-deck circle tonight.
So 2-2 the count. A's need a couple of base runners. And he tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, says you want around. So 1 out. And here's Stephen Vogt.
In case you want to forget, please do. It's Marte of the Mariners, a 3-1 fastball.
It's hard to watch.
It's very hard to watch.
Stephen Vogt went up to get ready to hit, and now he's been called back. And I think the thought process was, if you get a guy on base, maybe Stephen Vogt can tie it with a home run. But they did not get a guy on base, so sent Coco up there.
Well, as long as they did not announce Stephen Vogt, yeah, then as long as that happens, then he's not officially in the game. And you can stand in the on-deck circle and start, and then, unless Bob Melvin, manager, points to the umpire that he is the pinch hitter. And maybe now with a switch hitter, AJ Hinch going out to make the move, want to turn Coco around about right-handed.
So AJ Hinch makes the move, and the left-hander Sip coming in.
Season when the A's play host to their Cross Bay rivals from September the 25th through the 27th. Come out and support the green and gold as the A's close out this year's home slate. Get your tickets now online at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 510-638-GO-A's. 510-638-GO-A's.
Go A's. So Will Harris faces one hitter. He is gone, and now Tony Sipp comes in. Sipp 2-4, 2.23 ERA, and he faces the switch hitter Crisp, and Coco will hit from the right side. Coco 1 for 10 in his career against Tony Sipp. The first pitch is in for a strike.
Ninth appearance by Sipp against the Athletics this year. So he has worked a lot. But no more than an inning and a third. Like an inning and 2/3. And inning one appearance.
It does seem like he's pitched in just about every game they play. This is the 18th game these two teams have played against each other. He's leading the season series 9-8. Coco behind 0-2. Sipp is the 5th pitcher of the night for the Astros. Swing and a miss. So Coco strikes out, and that's 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Well, a good challenging fastball outside part of the plate after one was in the dirt. Brett Strom, I'm going to tell him about leadoff hitter Billy Burns. Got bat right-handed.
I just don't really know what you could be telling him.
Ferguson just returning from the birth of his first child. First game back. He left Wednesday. Yes, right. But they didn't need him Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
So he's ready.
He should be ready. Nice and strong. And baby boy. Raring to go.
First pitch at the knees for a strike. Burns has a hit tonight. He's been on base 3 times. He's 1 for 3 in his career against Tony Sipp. A little bit inside. So 2-1 to Burns. They just need a base runner to get that tying run to the plate. Hit in the air, left field, hit well. Rasmus going back, and that one is off the base of the wall. Burns rounds second. He's digging for third. The throw is there, and they catch him. So Billy Burns is down at third base, getting up slowly. Well, let's check out the play. It was very close.
Well, a strong throw and got him in the face. That's what he's looking at, his eye. And Jed Lowry, watch the tag from Lowry as he catches the ball. He slaps it on him right there and gets him in the face. And then right up again as he continued the tag.
It's a very close play. That may be worth taking a look at. I don't know.
Well, at this point, nothing to lose.
So as they check on Billy Burns, they're also checking on a possible replay.
Well, it's just a question of where he tagged him. Did he tag him there? Billy moved his hand, so if his left hand is on before he got him in the face, maybe he is safe. Because he missed him there, and then the hand perhaps is on the bag when he did tag him. You gotta be honest. So where's the left hand when he's tagged? A call.
So as the A's head toward the dugout, one last good look. Watch that left hand. Well, you know what? He tagged him on the right hand. He got his fingers. The glove hit the fingers of the right hand of Butler, or of Burns, and looked like on that one he was out. So 8-6 as we go to the bottom of the eighth. There's 6-10-1 for the A's, 8-11-1 for the Astros. Sonny Gray gives up 5 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. Smolinski and Simeon have homered. Scott Kazmir got knocked out in the 4th, but the big hit, Evan Gattis, that was the 3-run shot in the 7th inning. But let's check out the relay from the Astros, and they did it pretty well.
Rasmus picked it up, threw it to Correa, and the Correa with a bullet to Jed Lowry.
Well, Billy Burns back out there. And the new pitcher is Dan Otero. He is the 5th pitcher of the night for the Athletics. So Max Stassi hits for the first time. This is Tucker's spot in the lineup. There's a couple pinch hitters used. This one's driven to right, and that's it well. And Smolinski broke up, and Max Stassi goes the other way, and it was way out of here. 9-6 Astros. So Stassi's first career home run is against the team that drafted him, and he goes the other way, and that was a good 10 rows back, maybe further.
Well, they talked about it, the minor leagues. He was hitting home runs, but not so much for a batting average. But that was an easy stroke to right field. Probably got some stuff in his eyes, and then they pelted him with something. But Max Stassi, unbelievable.
A couple of home runs for the Astros tonight. That's what they do.
Yes, they do. Yeah, something happened when they throw in his face. Is it water? He got in his eye.
Is that really necessary?
No.
Really necessary?
No, I think that's a little bit overboard.
Laurie cannot handle it. Marisnik with his good speed has an infield hit.
Max Stassi, cutter up and cutter gone. Slider, I mean, that's just an easy swing, and this ball really traveled. He's scheduled to go to college and signed out of high school. The A's organization is still a very young catcher, and now in the Astros organization, and who knows what that might have done for him and his status with this ball club.
So Altuve steps up. A homer and a single here in the bottom of the 8th inning. For the A's, Coco Crisp stays in the game, and he's in left field, and Smolinski goes to right. In for a strike to Altuve. Altuve has a couple of hits tonight. He now has 180 hits on the year. 13 games left after tonight for the Astros, so he would have to get real hot to get to 200. But he can do that, and he can do that. Just flips one. Marisnik trying for third, and the throw is late. Altuve reads it. He goes to second. So second and third, and nobody out. Nothing but a little flare to right, but Altuve read the throw through, and he just took off.
Well, at this point, just throw the ball to second, keep the double play in order, because if you go to third, you're right. Altuve is smart enough, and ball checked up a little bit, and it's very hard. Marisnik runs too well to be thrown out, even though he hesitated to make sure the ball was going to drop. And once that happened, I mean, he can go first to third as well as anybody, and he makes it with the slide, and now Altuve right behind him once he saw the throw and posted in the second. Now the infield has to come in.
So 3 straight hits here in the bottom of the 8th. 14 hits now for the Astros, 10 for the A's. As Springer steps up. And Springer takes down and away. Rangers leading the Mariners 8-1, going to the 8th inning in Arlington. Springer towards shallow right center. Smolinski has it. Here comes Marisnik. The throw is cut off, and they go to third where they'll tag Altuve. So the out is there. It ends up being a double play, but Marisnik comes in to score. So Springer gets the sacrifice fly.
Well, Cat, there's your aggressiveness going first to third. That puts the runner at third where sac fly can score. Marisnik, tremendous speed getting to third, but this relatively shallow fly ball, but the throw doesn't even come to the plate. Well, it does, but then cut off because no chance. But Altuve trying to tag. And I don't think it was necessary for him to draw the throw because of Marisnic's speed. But he did anyway, thinking the throw was going to go all the way to the plate. And once he saw it was cut, he was going to be out easily.
So a couple of insurance runs for the Astros. It's now 10-6. There's a shot toward the gap. Coco cuts it off on the warning track, and Carlos Correa has his second hit tonight. It's a line drive double. So 4 hits in this inning by the Astros. Well, Bob Melvin's got to go to the bullpen again. Bob desperately wanted a quick bottom of the 8th, keep it 8-6, but Otero could not deliver that. And the Astros have scored twice, so onto the bullpen. Boulombe coming in. It's 10-6, Astros lead.
And everyone in your suite will receive an A's replica pullover. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/pullover. That's not a pullover. That's a Texas-style hat. The old Astros uniform when they were at the Houston Astrodome.
That's the guy you don't want to sit behind.
Well, can't see anything.
Can't see.
But the suite special, that starts Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week at the Coliseum when the A's return home for the final 6 regular season home games. And the final 6 home games for the A's at the O.co. And 3 against the Rangers, 3 against the Giants.
So here's Daniel Colomb. He is pitcher number 6 for the A's, and he'll face Lowry. Correa is the runner at second base.
Unfortunately, the A's got Altuve going to third. Because that would have scored him if he had not gone to third. The double that Correa just hit.
Lowry's got a couple of hits tonight. His pitch is high.
Casimir's off the hook. Sonny Gray's not going to get a win tonight. Looking for his 14th, so he'll stay at 13.
In for a strike. A double by Correa is hit number 15 tonight for the Astros. They only had 5 last night. But really, the Gaddis home run, that was the the biggest hit in the game, obviously, by either team. And he's had a 6-5 lead, but Gaddis a 3-run homer with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
He might be the best acquisition the Astros made last season. To bring him over here in DH, and he will play some games on the field because he is capable of doing that. But to get his power right-handed bat in this lineup, in this park, and when he starts the season striking out 8 consecutive bats.
Yeah, when we saw him early, he was really struggling.
Definitely making that acquisition. The gentleman to the left.
Of course, Gaddis, I mean, he's nowhere near free agency. I mean, this is really just his 2nd year as far as service time goes. So, I mean, that's a complete non-issue. They could have him 3 or 4 more years.
And Cap, I remember when we went to Atlanta last year, he was there with the Braves, and he asked me, he says, how do you catch every day? And so for him to be able to DH and not have to worry about a position, catch, left field, whatever it might be.
Because he was catching with the Braves.
Exactly. And he's a good catcher, but it was just one of those things that it wore him down, especially playing in that heat and humidity of Atlanta, like here with his dome.
Let's play. Simeon side retired. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Astros in the bottom of the 8th. So last chance for the Athletics. A's trailing 10-6.
Once again, and that is an opposite field home run, and folks, he's running out of the batter's box like he knew this was going to be the result. A 3-run opposite field home run by Evan Gaddis, giving him 25 home runs, 83 runs driven in on the season. 2 more weeks remaining, plus 1 day, and Evan Gaddis, Ford right choice, and he was the right choice because that was a huge home run for the Astros.
So here is Gregerson. He's a happy man.
Yeah, he's happy, and it's a non-safe situation, but it's worked for him since he's been away from the club for 4 days, making 3 days. He left Wednesday, so a couple of games in Arlington plus last night. But his last 2 appearances against the A's in August in Oakland were blown saves. One of them was a blown save and a loss. The other, he picked up a win after blowing the save in the 9th inning.
Right to 10.
3 blown saves for the former Athletic setup man.
And it's on 2. Gregerson and his wife walking the baby boy this week. That's why he was not with the team. He was in Florida. That's the giveaway, Evan Gaddis. So good night for Evan Gaddis. He gets a bobblehead and he hits a big 3-run homer. And on 3 pitches. Canna strikes out, 1 out. So that's the Gregerson slider. And when it's on, it's a tough pitch to hit.
Especially if it breaks out of the strike zone that much. And it was Canna who got an infield hit against Gregerson in the come from behind win. An infield hit after Rasmus had hit the 3-run home run. And then it was the infield hit, the hustle hit by Canna that the A's started, and they ultimately beat Gregerson.
First pitch to Laurie's inside. Laurie's hitless tonight, 0 for 4. A's have struck out 10 times tonight. They struck out 10 times last night as well. And they don't do that a lot. Second fewest strikeouts in the American League as a team. The slider snaps in there for a strike, 1-2. I would say, Ray, this time of year, if you're in a pennant race, your closer has to be at his best. Because you just can't give away a game.
Well, and that's why ideally, I mean, he was going to come in the game regardless of the score, but for him to get some work in after missing 3 games. Yeah, this is night. Maybe that's why he thought he could go to second on the tag up when he was doubled off early.
That run by Correa. Wow, that's a heck of a play. I'm telling you, folks, he's even bigger than he looks on TV.
Yeah, you're right.
And he moves like that. And he's special.
Charging, throwing on the move, and making the throw, showing up. And nice play by Bob Buena.
So 2 outs, and Valencia, the final hope for the A's. So if the Astros hang on to win this will be a huge come-from-behind win for them. Slider inside corner for a strike.
Well, what it means is they do not have to worry about tomorrow winning a game to avoid a sweep, and now they'll try to win the series, as the A's will try to do that tomorrow as well. As it was the start of their last road trip in which A.J. Hinch's ball club lost the first 2 to the A's, won the series finale in the Colin McHugh pitch, which the A's will try to win the series here tomorrow afternoon before heading home.
High fly ball, shallow center. This should do it. Marisnik's under it. He's got it, and that's the ball game. So the Houston Astros get a big win, and Gaddis home run is really the difference tonight. And this series is now tied at a game apiece, and it'll be the rubber game tomorrow. Time of game, 3 hours and 44 minutes. 27,044 was the attendance. Final score tonight from Minute Maid Park in Houston: the Astros 10 and the Athletics 6. You've been watching A's baseball on CSN California. It's part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Post Game Live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.